Well, hello and good evening, everyone. This is DM Galabond. And viewers on the stream, you are listening to the dulcet tones of Sirenscape. This is from a sound set called Tabletop Music. And this is a piece called Morning Dew. Nice little incidental music while we are waiting to get started with our session. The players are slowly making their way into the Discord and on to the Roll20. I know they are making their way onto the Roll20 because I expect them to be logged in to Roll20 and Discord by 8 p.m. And my players would never do anything to disappoint me.
Oh, of course not. Never. Hello.
No.
Hello.
We never dare do such a thing.
Hello, Ivy.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Hello.
And everyone came on right at the nick of time.
Yeah.
Almost
All
like
right.
Say what?
All right. Well,
Hello,
Michael did inform me that he would probably be a few minutes late, so he has an excused tardy. As for everybody else, it's a darn good thing you're here on time. All right, and players and viewers, this is Thursday night at Sword Coast Chronicles. I am DM Galabond, and we are here for session 71 of our game. This is a session that I am calling In Pursuit of the Morkoth.
Yay.
And last time we were playing this game, the party started off in a couple of different locations. Some of the boys were over at the Yawning Portal. They were meeting with Falazure, their dragon ally from the Flying Castle. And they shared some intelligence, things that they had learned, things that the dragon had learned. And then they made a quick stop by way of the teleportation conch to Maelstrom. They were able to get King Hekaton's wedding ring, and because they thought that might be a good thing to use to scry on the king. And then they teleported back to the castle, and they met up with the dragon and Count Fullen, and talked with them in the evening, basically about everything that had been going on. And when we just before we finished, they had woken up the following morning. Count Thaldohr was up in his turret, navigating the castle, and Falazure had already flown off towards the coast, the Sword Coast, behind them now this time, to the east, in search of some dragon allies. And we are about ready to get started with our game. So, you guys have a couple of different items. You now have a better description of the ship, and you have King Hekaton's wedding ring. And I think one of the things you wanted to do was try to have the Count scry on either the ship or on the king himself. So I didn't know whether you guys wanted to try to do that first thing this morning, or were there other things that you wanted to do. The only other detail I think we mentioned is that when you woke up this morning, you're looking out ahead of you to the west on the ocean. It looks like there's some clouds building, which reminds me, we need to go to this one, and we need to bring
Bit of ambiance in the Discord.
in Faerun.
Wants it.
Yes. Need to bring this sound up. This is from the sounds at High Seas. All right. You all are on the castle, probably in the courtyard. Although Ivy, since you weren't here, we had you studying. Okay. And and so you guys can take it away.
Those clouds up ahead? I think I heard somewhere, red skies at night, sailor's delight. Does that apply to flying castles?
I think I've heard of a sweet called Sailor's Delight.
Red skies in the morning, sailors take warning.
Red by night, sailors light. Red by morning, sailors take warning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
so you've
I
heard
think
of
that's
it.
how it goes. Yes.
You've heard of it too.
Yeah.
We might need to head inside. So were we gonna try this scrying tool thing? I've never quite scryed before. Not really sure how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe the Giants know something about it. We should try that.
Why don't we go in and you try that? I don't want to get rained on. I'm so sweet, I'll melt.
That's
You will?
All right. I think that room was up on top, right?
Yes, it is, in fact, up on top. I believe it is. Yes, it is over here.
I guess we need to find our giant friend.
Yeah, he is. He's actually. There is a very lifelike mannequin of him standing in the throne room right now. But the real Count Thaldohr is over here in the control tower. He is. Yeah, he is there, and pay no attention to these simulacra,
behind the
as
curtain.
they are all puddles of water. Actually, they're probably all dried up by now, blown away in the wind. All right, so as those of you who want to make your way over to the control tower and come in, Count Thaldohr will say, "Oh, welcome. Hello, Mulek.
Hello.
It's good to see you on this morning. Did you see the storm clouds to the west?"
I did see those storm clouds. Do we need to worry?
Well, you shouldn't worry too much. Lyn Armaal is a very sturdy castle. Now, you might want to be inside, as small as you are. If we get into some really blustery squalls, the wind might just pick you up and blow you over the edge. But the castle itself is very sturdy. There should not be... I cannot imagine anything in this plane that would have the ability to damage the castle with wind.
Oh, that's good. Well, the reason we came up here was apparently with this orb, you're able to scry with it.
Oh, yes. Were you not here? Was it yesterday or the day before when we were trying to look for the Morkoth? Yes, but at that point in time, we didn't know very much about it. But last night you were telling us that you had learned many more details, and you also had an item that perhaps might help us find King Hekaton himself.
Yes, we do. Remind me again, how often can you use this to scry with? Is there a limit?
Oh, I can scry 3 times a day.
Wonderful.
Now, each time I look for a different object counts as 1 time. But I am willing, since we have several days until we reach Maelstrom, I am willing to use 2 of those scryings today on helping to look for the Morkoth and for Count Thaldohr if we need to use both of them. But I would like to hold the 3rd one in reserve just in case. If Felgalos returns, he may have some other need, or we may determine something else later in the day that needs looking into.
Mulek reaches into his bag and he pulls out the giant ring and holds it towards the Count and says, "This belonged to King Hekaton. This should help you scry on him."
And he nods, because he was there when you guys were telling, or I know Thaldohr was mainly, Thaldohr and Falazure were mainly speaking, and I think everybody was there, but I'm not sure if all the other characters were there. But when they were telling about having gotten King Hekaton's wedding ring, and Count Thaldohr, he nods gravely and he reaches out and he takes the ring very reverently, as though he puts a great deal of thought into it. And he holds it in his hand for a moment and he looks at it. And he says, "It is a fine ring. Yes. Well, with this we will see what we can find." And he then puts it in the palm of his left hand, and he holds his right hand out about a foot over the top of the scrying orb, so it looks like he's almost touching it. And he raises his left fist up a little bit, and he closes his eyes and he mumbles something in Giant, and even those of you who speak Giant, you can't quite make out what he's saying. It may be like an ancient dialect of Giant that is really not taught anymore. But you can almost just sort of make out words on the edge of hearing, but not quite what he's saying.
I think he's drunk.
And he keeps his eyes closed for a moment, and while he does, you can see these clouds. They swirl in the orb, and you all are standing down and you're looking up at the orb, because the bottom of that orb is about 10 feet in the air. So you all are standing there looking up at it, and these clouds swirl in that orb. And then after he stops mumbling, everything goes a crystal clear blue, like the blue of the sky. And he opens his eyes and he peers intently at the orb, and you have that effect where you guys are looking at the orb from one direction and he's looking at it from the other, and so you can sort of see his face distorted and magnified in that. And then the orb begins to fill, or look like it fills, with water, and it looks like the dark water of an ocean. far, far out in the middle of the sea. And there's you look at it, and you look at it for a long time, and there's almost a hint of something, but you can't quite tell what it is. And he squints, and he leans down, and he gets closer, and he gets closer, and he gets closer. And those of you who are looking from another angle, it's almost like he finally gets to a point where he's almost bent over like an old man, just, like squinting into the orb to try to see something. And then there's kind of a little it's like a little sparkle, and then from that little sparkle, it just begins, the whole thing begins to turn gray, like the gray of clouds. And he says, "It's never done that before. That's very strange. I felt like the ring was taking me to a location, but it was a location in the trackless sea, and I could not get a fix on it. And it almost seemed from time to time like there was something just on the edge of vision, but it would never resolve. And then finally, it was like the magic of the scrying was just pushed away."
So they've...
What could that be?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Have you tried unplugging it?
I'm not sure it works that way, Krenraid.
Oh, okay.
Well, Mordenkainen had given me a scroll. I haven't quite studied it fully, but there is magic that can prevent scrying. I wonder if there's some spell cast on this ship that prevents us from seeing into it.
Oh, that would explain it. That would explain it. Yes, there must be something powerful, because an extremely powerful bond that would help to pinpoint King Hekaton anywhere. Something that he has worn day after day for, a giant such as he, with daughters nearly full grown. They must have been married for a couple of centuries or more. It would have had such a powerful bond to him. Only extremely powerful magic to ward off scrying could prevent me from catching even a glimpse of him. Perhaps those little fleeting glints that I thought I was seeing were the magic of the bond to this ring, warring with the warding that is on those ships. On that ship, I should say.
Well, we could always try again later. Maybe catch them in between casting whatever spell they are using.
Yes, that would be... Well, it would be very powerful magic to ward off this type of scrying with a bonding item as strong as this ring. But if they have the magic to make that ward against scrying permanent, that's even more powerful indeed. For making an effect permanent is something that only very few casters that rival the power of Mordenkainen himself, would be able to do. And I certainly hope we are not going into the teeth of a caster with that kind of power.
Did anyone else just feel a massive chill go down their spine when he said that?
Quite.
Well, I'll tell you some magic we do have that might get us to where we need to go.
Yes? What is that?
It's called teleportation.
If the orb thingy, which is a bunch of finger waggling, can't see into the ship, does that mean that your displacement finger waggling thing work? I don't think it would it?
Out of character. Now that we've seen some... Oh, we didn't get any plans to the ship, did we?
No.
Nope.
We thought about it. It was on the tip of our tongue, like a process that we kind of figured we'd want to try, but no.
Well, do we even have a description of the boat?
Yep. You know that it looks like a giant squid.
Yep. It's pretty unique.
It's a fairly distinctive looking ship.
So under the rules of... Go ahead. Well, okay. So under the rules of the teleport, would a description of a location be a physical object like a boat?
I think a location would be any place that you could teleport into, like a building or a boat or a town square or something like that. So, yeah, I think a boat would count because, especially an ocean-going vessel is going to be, the size of a building in a city. So it would be kind of like trying to teleport to the Yawning Portal. If you only ever had a description of the Yawning Portal.
Right.
It would be, you'd probably have about the same chance. Now, I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna say that it like takes a position every so many minutes and it's like gonna teleport you to where it was 5 minutes ago.
Right.
I'd say it just kind of is going along with the ship, and if you wind up succeeding, you're gonna land on the ship somewhere. The question is exactly where.
Exactly. So it would be random because I only have a description, which is the same as viewed once on the chart, and I haven't seen it casually, whatever that means. The difference between seeing casually and viewed once, I imagine seeing maybe twice or something.
And it's a moving object. I mean, I would imagine it would be a little more difficult than if it was stationary, but
I don't think that has anything to plan in it. Okay, so in character, Falazure is going to be like, well, I don't have gambling casino odds good of getting us onto the ship, but I could try.
I think we have an advantage in this giant castle with allies that we can trust, and we should use that to try and get on the ship. And then maybe we can find a guy who's doing this finger waggling to stop that orb from working. And then maybe we try the finger waggling that you're suggesting, because maybe it'll work better.
well, and there is some magics. If it's preventing scrying, it may prevent people from teleporting into it as well. I agree with Krenraid. I mean, we have potentially dragons coming to assist. I think we have some time. Maybe we could just scout from this castle and just keep an eye out. We have kind of a general idea where this ship is headed, although the sea is so huge. I don't know if we need to chance teleporting at this time.
Well, just keep in mind that I can only take 8 people with me. That's how the magic works. Well, I guess I should say they don't have to be people, but, they have to be, creatures that are willing to go.
Yeah, but if we get some dragons on our side, they could cover a lot of area, potentially find the ship out in the sea.
Out of character, how long did you say it would take to actually try to catch up to try to get any intel on this boat? From a standpoint of us actually floating towards there and actually the dragons doing some scouting.
Yeah, they Felgalos and Count Thaldohr have estimated after looking at the charts that after leaving the western edge of the Sword Coast, it may take as much as 3 to 5 days to get to Maelstrom, and then maybe another 1 or 2 days beyond Maelstrom to get to the Purple Rocks. And so, in less than a 10-day of travel, you should be in the target zone. And then it would just be, now it depends how quickly Felgalos and the other dragons get back and when they start doing their ranging, flying out, and how much ground they can cover while they're flying and how long it would take them to spot it, presuming you're not able to either pinpoint it by scrying or pinpoint it by teleportation. Because now that's another thing. It's like, even if you have a description and you get a lucky roll and you teleport there, that doesn't really give you any kind of idea of where you are, because unless they are in sight of some sort of land, and unless you happen to know what that land is, you're going to look around 360 degrees and see nothing but open ocean. Mm-hmm. So you don't really know where you are in terms of getting all the rest of your allies to you.
Yeah.
Because like you say, you could go and maybe, right now it's just you and the other party members and the one giant. Once you get closer to Maelstrom, there's the potential of other giants coming on board the castle to join you, as well as potentially more dragons to aid you. And then your landing party, for lack of a better word, whether you wait until you get within sight of the ship or, you want to start trying your luck before you get that close, you might well be able to take either a giant or two or a dragon or two, probably in humanoid form, with you as part of the people that are going down to the ship. But that would depend on what the giants want to do and what the dragons want to do.
So Falazure speak up and he'll say, yeah, Mulek, I'm inclined to agree with you here in this situation. I guess we just have to hope that we can get someone that does us good scouting for us and give us some better intel.
Yeah, out of character, I assume we've looked at a map of the Sword Coast. I think we saw where the Purple Rocks are and where Maelstrom is.
Yeah, we did that in one of the sessions a couple of weeks ago.
There's no like in-game maps that I have that show that, but yes, narratively, you guys went to the map room in the library and you found some maps that give you relative positions and everything.
And so where would Maelstrom be in relation to Gundarlin? If I'm looking at like a map of the Sword Coast, and I can see the purple rocks, and I see Gundarlin, which is a large island east of the purple rocks, and then east of that will be the Sword Coast.
Okay. Well,
I posted a map in Discord.
Okay, is that the map you're using?
I'm just using one.
James?
I'm sure it's the same map. I just Googled it and I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same map.
Okay, so Gundarlin, the Purple Rocks. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, Maelstrom. Wow, that's interesting. The book and this map do not share the same scale.
Nope.
Because the adventure says that the Purple Rocks are some 500 miles away from Maelstrom, and Maelstrom is some distance out from the Sword Coast. But the Purple Rocks on this map, according to the scale here, are less than 1,000 miles to the west of the thing. So we
can say that scale doesn't apply to the islands in the sea.
Okay. All right. Then where I think it would wind up being is just a little bit. Maelstrom would be just a little bit to the west of Gunbarg.
Gundarlin.
Gundarlin is the island.
The
Gunbarg
island
is the city. Yeah.
Okay. So Mulek back in character. So as long as we're moving, and we should be able to see Gundarlin. Once we come upon Gundarlin, we'll know we're getting close to. You said Maelstrom was to the west, right?
Just a little bit to the west of Gundarlin. Yeah.
So we'll and then the Purple Rocks will be how much farther from Maelstrom?
Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, I see. Look down on your map. Look down south.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maelstrom is actually marked on the map. It's almost due west of Waterdeep. So that means that the Purple Rocks are significantly northwest of Maelstrom. So yeah, in that case, it is about right. So it's actually closer to. It's actually Maelstrom is actually closer to the Whalebones and to Ruatham or Routham or however you.
I always imagined it much further north, but I guess that was just my interpretation.
Yeah, I kind of imagined it further north as well. I didn't realize there were any maps that actually had it pinpointed on there.
Oh, okay. The map I was looking at didn't have the Maelstrom. Okay, I see Maelstrom now. Oh, okay. That changes everything. So we're headed towards Maelstrom.
Yeah.
Ooh, that takes us way out of the way.
But if you guys, we're just going to presume that their maps, because they are cloud giants and because they are part of the ordning, they would have Maelstrom on their map, and their plan would be go to Maelstrom and then turn and head towards the Purple Rocks. So, they could do attack of, well, let's head towards the western tip of Gundarlin, and then once we know we're there, we can start scouting.
Yeah. So
it would be the same. It would be the same difference. It just would be
okay. So having looked at the maps, I think we can gauge when we are arriving close to the Purple Rocks, and once we get in the general area and start focusing scouting from the air, unless the ship beats us to the purple rocks.
What do we
find it?
What do we know if we scryed on the ship?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We scryed and it didn't work. There's some kind of magic preventing it.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so I think once we get closer to Gunderlin, we could try scrying again. If that doesn't work, Falazure, maybe we could try teleporting to the purple rocks. If we are able to gather anything about the purple rocks, to see if the ship has arrived there first. If there's some way we are able to determine that, I would imagine if they get there first and we try scrying on the king, that maybe that magic won't be present off of the ship, but maybe it will. I don't know.
Ken, real quickly, does Falazure have DM inspiration at this point?
No.
Okay, go ahead and give yourself DM inspiration for providing that very excellent map with all of the pertinent features shown on it. That's very
thank you.
helpful. Yeah, that is very helpful. Because I had been looking at maps in the adventure and nothing gives anything to this scale. So.
Well, I guess we just hurry up and wait. You know what I mean?
And prepare and practice. I don't think this is going to be an easy fight.
No. I got a lot of work to do in the armory to turn some of these harpoons into ballista bolts into harpoons. So yeah, just go do that.
Well, don't forget we're gonna start working on that armor together.
Oh, I'm never going to forget that. I was up kind of late into the night thinking about that and making some plans, and I got some information for you as well. You know, about timings and costs and things like that. Because we're going to need to get some regents. We'll go over it later. But you want to join me in the armory, we could discuss it.
All right, sounds good. What time of day is it now out of character?
Oh, it's still morning.
Okay.
It would be probably before mid-morning at this point in time. So
I think I'm gonna.
You guys want to?
I think I'm gonna head to
disperse yourselves.
I think I'm gonna head to the library and see if I can find any information regarding the purple rocks.
Okay.
I think I'll give Krenraid a little help in making the armor.
I think I'm going to join you, Mulek, for a little while, and then I'm going to join the boys in the armory, if you don't mind.
Sure.
That's perfect. That gives me time to work out some of the finer details on paper, and then we can discuss it later.
But first, I got to find Belle, because if she finds out I gave y'all gifts and didn't give her anything, she's going to have my ass.
Last I saw her, she was playing with the kids.
All right, I'll go find her. And that's what he does. He goes off to find Belle.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to take Mulek and IG and bring them to the library. We are going to take Falazure over to the kids' playroom. And then Des, where's Des gonna go?
What's the weather like outside?
There's that those storms building to the west. It's kind of windy. It's open ocean, so there's that open ocean wind that you get.
Okay. Well, he's basically just outside feeling the wind in his hair, so to speak.
Okay. You want to go somewhere where you can watch where you're going, or go somewhere to watch where you've been?
Watch where we're going. Or watch towards the storm.
Oh, okay. All right. So you'll go somewhere that you can look out to the west, and you. How long would Dez do that? I get a picture of Dez as kind of a patient sort of person, but I don't know. I don't know in your mind when Dez says, "I just want to sit down and watch the world go by." How long does that mean? You know?
Do you really want to know? Dez is communing with nature currently in its full fury / force.
Okay.
So he's just going to kind of hang out and just watch as the storm approaches.
Okay. Over the course of the next hour, because Dez is probably more attuned to changes in his natural surroundings than most of the other PCs are. Not to say that, you know, they've all lived sheltered lives, but, you know, by virtue of being a druid,
yes,
Dez just sort of has that extra connection. Dez would feel like he would have the sense that the castle is probably moving along at somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 5,000 feet. So, you know, he would be like on the tops, up as high as the tops of some small mountains, and kind of up towards the shoulders of some medium-sized mountains. You know, so there's clouds at your level that you see drifting off from side to side and such like that. And then there's obviously some clouds that are much higher and much lower. But as you approach this cloud, and of course the sun is rising behind you as you're going along, over the course of the next hour, it seems to Dez like the height of the storm clouds in front of you grows, and those clouds seem to get taller, and, you know, there begins to be sort of a purplish hue that begins to form at the base of those clouds, and then over time that purple just rises up to cover more and more and more of the lower parts of those clouds. And, you know, up high there's still, you know, brilliant white, puffy, fluffy clouds way up there, but they're definitely kind of billowing, and you can sort of see them grow and change and morph, and it just seems like it's spread.
Does this seem natural?
Does this seem natural? Okay. All right. Make me a nature check, please.
All right.
$17. There's something about it that seems a little off. You can't quite put your finger on it. It doesn't seem like it's the product of you know, like some of the storm magic that you know that some druids have, where they can conjure storms. So it doesn't seem like it's a conjured storm.
Okay.
But it definitely, from the way the rest of the sky looks, and the way the wind around you is, because you're familiar with what everything looks like in the hours before a storm approaches, and how things change, and there's something about, you've noticed a subtle thing, and again, it's part of your connection to nature that the other PCs may not ever realize. As a storm approaches, you get a sense sometimes in your inner ear of how there's just a little bit of a slight change in the you may not have a word for it, but a slight change in the way your inner ear feels as the storm gets closer. And while this doesn't look like storm magic, what you're seeing isn't matching up exactly with what you're feeling.
Okay.
So there's something a little bit off about it, but you can't quite put a finger on what that is.
Okay. So can I transform into fudge? I'm trying to remember if I can transform into a rook. Basically a large bird.
A rock? Is that a rock?
Okay. What I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you look that up, and I'm gonna move on to somebody else, and we'll come back and we will check on you. Okay. Next, let us go over to the. I think we're gonna have to go to a different level here. We are going to go to the makeshift smithy. And whoops, that's not it. It's down here. Krenraid, you find that the area that formerly used to house the griffins those cages have been partially disassembled and piled off into one corner, and there's actually an old anvil that apparently was in one of those crates that has been set up here and everything, and it looks like this would be a place where they would make repairs on weapons. The armory is still at the other end of that great hall, up towards the top, but then down at the bottom is where the this area is where the rest of the thing would be. So you could be down there, and then where's Thaldohr? Thaldohr will be down there with you, I guess. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, gentlemen.
So what you need done, Krenraid?
Okay, so before we get any closer to that ship and the potential of fighting a giant sea beast, I think it's probably very smart if we change over some of these ballista bolts into something that might stick into the creature better, so our casters can have some fun with the metal. I know they like playing with it by finger waggling and doing things to change it.
I might be able to come up with a design, maybe, that could pierce something of that nature.
I talked to Des about it, and he seemed pretty adamant that something with barbs would be pretty good. Like, I've been spearfishing, and they have kind of like an arrow shape on the end, right? So when they get stabbed in, it's kind of hard for the other side to get pulled out. But I was kind of thinking we want something more serrated, something that gains purchase a bit easier. Yeah, was it?
Got you. So you see Thaldohr pull out a piece of paper and a quill, and he starts drawing out designs of arrowheads and different things, or spear points that would incorporate the serrated edge. How does this look?
Well, it's very nice artwork. That looks pretty good.
This might do. I mean, look, you've got the piercing power and you've got the serrade. where if you try to pull it out, it's going to cause damage.
I also like how it's pretty simple, so we can make them en masse, because I was kind of worried about that.
So make a mold like we did for the swords and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. When we take the... so, you know those giant spears that are just sitting there without ends that are in the throne room, right? Because we took the mithril ends off.
Right, just the wood shafts, yeah?
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe we could use some of them, or maybe we could convert some of the ballista bolts. Like, I'd imagine, right, if we made a very large metal chunk, right, and attached it to the end of one of those giant spears, we could just drop the damn thing, and it would plummet very, very hard into whatever we landed on. I'm also strong enough to pick it up, so I could just theoretically stab the big guy with it, but I feel like just dropping it from a very high place might be pretty good. Like when a bird egg falls out of a nest, right? You get it splats.
Makes sense. I'm seeing your logic.
So, do you reckon we could make some big ones and then convert the some of the smaller ones too? Do you reckon that would work?
Maybe. I don't see why that couldn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start heating up the furnace and get everything else ready.
Well,
carry on with the drawings.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry on and draw some of this out, and I'll come back to you and see what you think about the designs, and maybe we can work it out and make that work. Might be some pretty handy equipment by the time we're done.
I think so. Like, even if we don't fight the Kraken, right? We know that big blue dragon lady that we've found inside the what was that place called again? Where those other giants were? I can't remember. All the seashells were there. Maelstrom. Maelstrom. Yeah, okay, right. Maelstrom. Yeah. Like, I reckon some of these giant spear tips would be pretty useful for fighting against her as well. Kind of like multi-purpose. If we don't see a giant sea beast, then we've got a giant flying beast.
That's fair.
Okay, I'll go work with that. And I did think about, well, something later than I kind of doing my own little doodles, and not as good as yours, but I did do some.
It's okay. Let me see what you got.
Yeah, I'll show them to you. They're very crudely drawn. They look like a child drew them.
Okay. I can improve on this. So I take your drawings, I put them down, I freehand trace them, and then I improve, add little things here and there, maybe a design or two. What do you think about this?
Is this for the armor, by the way?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's much better, yeah. Like, maybe make it so, like, the bottom bit's a bit more flary, right? So that when he puts it on, it looks nicer next to his trousers. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Okay. What about this design here for the breastplate? And I draw a pattern on the breastplate drawing.
That's very pretty. I was kind of thinking maybe we could include something of his god, right? Because he's always going on about his helm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we could include something like that on the breastplate.
Sure.
I'd like to get his input because I feel like that's quite important to him personally.
Well, I'll draw a design of the helm's design and then the hammer. So I draw that out, and let's see if Falazure likes it whenever he catches up with us.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. Maybe we could do an alternative one with like the symbol of his homeland or something.
I don't know. I don't know much about where he came from. He's been kind of, not quiet about it, but he doesn't talk much about it. But we're a horse. He loves Rusty. We could put a horse on it.
We could put a horse on it. Maybe we could put them all on it.
That's
that would
also
look a bit silly. Do a collage.
No, I can make that look right. I start drawing different things that we know about Falazure. I put a loot on there.
Don't forget the hot sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, we put the hot sauce bottle on there. So Thaldohr's just drawing different designs and putting all this together on the breastplate drawing, and he's got pages upon pages of different designs.
You know what we could do? We could have the hot sauce be like dripping, right? Sort of like the shoulder pads, right? Yeah, like that. And then we could have him riding his horse. We're all doing a hammer, and at the same time have a loot in the other hand. Oh, yeah.
We gotta make the hair more flashy, though.
Oh yeah, it needs to be gold as well. Like lots of gold, lots of real flashy stuff. I could like grind up some lapis or something.
What about? Wait a minute. Forget the horse. What about the dragon? Let's make him riding the bronze dragon.
Yeah. Do another one. Start again.
I write another one.
Okay,
going
and
back and forth.
Children.
they descend into art class here as they are drawing more and more different exotic designs that Falazure
We've got to
will
wait for
probably
the
have to.
furnace to know. We've got to wait for it to get up to the right heat. So yeah, we've got time. We've got time to waste.
Yeah. Okay.
And Thaldohr
All right.
pulls out the bottle of whiskey as we're doing this to have a shot or two as we're doing the drawings.
Oh, a bit of lick of inspiration. I like the way
Exactly,
you
lick of
think. Yeah, let's
inspiration,
do it.
Okay, and we will leave them there, and then we will head over to the library. And Mulek, you are starting off in the library. What are you specifically looking for?
I'm looking for any kind of geography books, mapping. I imagine that with this castle traveling around, that locations may have been mapped. Aerial images of different locations, geography, descriptions of places. That's basically kind of what I'm looking for. And then I'm trying to drill down to see if I can find anything regarding the purple rocks and the archipelago of that area and the islands and stuff.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and look for some of that information. You'll spend some time doing a search there. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. And that'll give me an idea of how successful you are in finding books on various topics.
Okay, I was anticipating that, and so I've reached into my bag, and while I'm gripping the stone speaker crystal, or stone speaker, the staff, right? I'm looking and searching. So here we go.
Okay, so that gives you what, advantage or?
Yes, advantage.
20. All right. Okay, well done. All right, so that means I have a few items to look for. While you are looking for those items, we are going to flash kind of across the hall and zoom in a little bit on the playroom where we find Belle along with Kaltar, the storm giant or the cloud giant boy, and Alastra, his sister, the nephew and niece of Count Thaldohr, and Falazure is there. And Falazure, I don't think you are on that one anymore. So, all right, Falazure and Belle, you guys are up.
Oh, let me paint the picture. It's gonna be
Sure,
fun.
sure.
Don't worry. So the little boy and the girl are all like bouncing around the room, trying to tell each other to stay quiet. As Belle's curled up underneath the table, like the closest thing she can squeeze and hide herself into, and she just passed out from exhaustion. As you can tell, like the whole room's a complete mess because she just passed out.
Okay, and Falazure, you walk in, and that's how you find them.
Is the door open?
The door is unlocked.
All right, and he walks in and he sees them sleeping.
The kids have that kind of energy, and they're you can tell they're trying to be quiet, but they're getting gradually more and more excited, and their admonitions to shush each other are getting slightly louder and louder. And it's Belle that's over, curled up under a table, sleeping. Sleeping the sleep of someone who has just been exhausted by two children with boundless energy.
He walks in, he's like, Does his passive perception notice that she's laying under, or does he not notice?
Let's see. Let me just double check. You got the with an 18. Yeah, you would notice. You would notice a form of a, because she's not trying to hide. She's just basically taking shelter under there.
Is she? No, she's
Well-
not trying to hide. No.
Okay, she's not trying to hide, but she rolled stealth anyway. So
I was just trying to have fun.
So he walks in. He's like, "Hey, kids."
oh, hello. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Y'all having fun?
Yeah, but shh.
Oh.
You gotta be quiet because Belle is over there sleeping.
Oh, she's sleeping on the job, is she?
No, she's just a little tired. But hey, can you tell us a story?
I sure
They
can.
look up at you with, or they don't look up at you. It's a little disconcerting to have people that have the form and shape and sort of natural proportions of a 4 or 5 year old child, but they're 6 feet tall, and they have that wide-eyed, innocent look in their eyes, but they are looking you in the eyes. They're not having to look up at you as an adult. They're just looking right in your eyes with their eyes on the same level. It's a little it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, Falazure 6'3", so he's pretty tall, and it is kind of alarming. He says, "Well, listen, if you're real good the rest of the day, when it comes down to bedtime, I'll come read you a story."
A bedtime story, yay! And they clap. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Now, yeah.
So, hey, did you come to play?
No, I didn't. I came to get Belle and talk to her for a minute.
Oh, yeah, she's over there. I don't know. She might be cranky if you wake her up, but I don't know. She sometimes gets cranky if we get too loud.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, never grab a cat by its tail. And if you do, hold on.
Oh, okay, all right. And they start to look at each other, and now they're kind of trying to puzzle that out. All right, so Falazure,
he walks over to where Belle is sleeping, and he just kind of taps his foot on the floor, and he clears his throat.
Belle, are you sleeping soundly, or are you just sort of
She
dozing?
was trying her hardest to sleep, but she couldn't ever sleep.
Okay,
She's
so
been
then
on babysitting duty for how many hours left alone now? She kind of just stares up at him, just tiredly, with like black circles under her eyes. With that type of look.
Wow. Look what the cat drug in. You look awful.
Gentlemen.
Belle shakes her head and her claws come out, just as a warning feature. Says, "What do you want?" She kind of rubs her eyes and tries and shakes herself awake.
Well, I wanted to check on you. You weren't down with the rest of the group when we teleported back from Waterdeep. I brought everybody gifts. But since I came up here and found you sleeping on the job. I don't know if you really want the gift. And he kind of like fakes that he's serious. Kind of crosses his arms a little bit. And he,
What else I want? Sir, present. And she'll kind of stand up to Falazure and poof out of her chest and try and stand tall and mighty, trying to assert her dominance.
he looks into her eyes. Does she give him like those... What kind of look does she give him?
After a moment of trying to be tall and brave and all that, she'll kind of like, please, I deserve it.
She gives him those Puss in Boots
Yeah.
eyes. He just breaks down. He says, all right, I couldn't ever stay mad at you. I'm just kidding. And he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a big old satchel. All right, now, don't eat this and make yourself sick all at once, but I got you this gift. And he hands it to you. And it's kind of wrapped up in different butcher papers with yarn strings tied up.
She'll kind of like make her eyes go wide a different way. She'll kind of clap her hands wildly. She'll grab it and then she'll run out the door.
Wait.
And it's, what?
Wait. You don't even know what it is.
But she grabbed it and she's going.
Well, all right. Well, if you want to know what stuff is later, I guess you just ask me.
Okay, so like, hear me out. She'll run out the door away from the kids just so she has her own little thing of herself, and then she'll sit out in the hallway because she doesn't know where the other room is, I think. Thaldohr actually there?
No.
Okay.
Falazure comes out. He says, stay here for a moment, kids. Be right back.
I'll kind of start ripping the paper, like, gently, but at the same time, not so gently. She'll kind of, like, be digging in. It's like, oh, what is it? What is it? Can she smell it?
I'm going to say, it's up to Gally, but I'm going to say you can smell beef jerky through butcher wrapping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But with your keen sense of smell, you're probably bombarded with all different types of smells. So it's probably you have a hard time picking them all out, but you might pick out a few.
I would think that if you took the package even before you started to unwrap it and just held it up to your nose and inhaled sharply, you would probably get the essence of beef jerky, especially if it's good fresh beef jerky that was kind of like gourmet, that has been freshly cured and hasn't been in a travel pack for 6 months already. Kidding.
It is fresh.
Yeah, so yeah, you would probably be able to smell it if you took a big whiff of it up close, and you can flavor that however you want to, Ivy.
Belle kind of smile and then she'll kind of like not rub herself on the scent of it, but like she'll just definitely be like having it close to her cheeks, saying, "Oh my god, I can already just taste it without even tasting it. This is a very worthwhile present."
Now, a question for you, Falazure, is this beef jerky that's kind of like what we have grown accustomed to thinking of as sort of American style, where it's already in either snack-sized strips or bite-sized pieces, or is this more like the Australian style beef jerky where it's kind of a big hunk of cured meat?
It's a smorgasbord of different types of dried meat.
Okay.
And he just It's like that scene in Forrest Gump. He just starts talking about. It's like, well, I wanted to spoil you with a really nice gift, so I got a whole bunch of different kinds of dried meat. I got dried fish. I got dried beef. I got dried turkey. Some of it's peppered beef. Some of it's sweet beef. We got a little bit of dried chicken. Hell, I mean, there's just a little bit of everything in there.
Probably
Except
some
I couldn't get
jerky.
any kobolds, but if we ever kill any in the future, I might just dry them out for you and season them up.
Did you get tuna at least?
What's that?
Did you get tuna?
Well, I'm not really sure what kind of fish that is in there.
Well,
I think I got.
Make it up for me with getting the kobolds and skinning them, especially their bones. They're really good. Their horns, they just get really big, like, if you know what I mean.
I don't know if there's tuna in there, but I do know there's a little bit of dried trout in there and some dried salmon.
Yeah, I would think that a gourmet shop would have trout, salmon, tuna, maybe some shark jerky, being that far north. So there might be something like that, and then there might even be like some calamari jerky. There's
like dried salted sardines in there, and
yeah, anchovies, and but they would be like gourmet anchovies. So you'd have like the sweet and hot anchovies, the spicy and sour anchovies, the garlic and pepper anchovies,
yeah, it's like a big satchel of just 10 pounds of different dried meats. It's huge.
Yeah. And Bella's all over it. She's spraying it all out in the hallway, like making sure it's still clean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But just looking at all of it in praisement, she'll look over at Falazure, she'll go over to his feet, flop over on her back, with just a big huge smile on her face.
He smiles.
Anything, but
he smiles real big, and he just leans down and scratches in between the ears and says, "I thought you'd really like it."
I don't think anything or anyone could have beat my present. What'd you get for the others?
Well, I got Thaldohr some good quality leather armor, and I got Krenraid's a nice maul, mastercrafted maul, and let's see, what else did I get him?
Javelin of lightning.
Yeah, I got him this really cool javelin of lightning. And then I get Dez. I didn't know what to get Dez. Dez is kind of hard to read, but I got him a magical pipe that does really cool shapes and stuff like that when he smokes it. And then let's see, I kind of gave Mulek a hand-me-down shield, but I think he was happy with it.
You can definitely say if my beak beats all of them.
Well, I'm pretty good at getting gifts, I think. Not to toot my own horn. But I hope you enjoy it. And Lord knows you're going to have all this beef, all this dried meats. You're going to try to take mine when you see it. So I guess nothing's going to change.
Look at him. Yeah, you do have a point. So she'll kind of like divvy up like her meats into 4 separate different little pouches. So then she'll kind of like wrap one up, and then she'll kind of tie it, and then she'll put it in Falazure's hands. saying, well, then you can take from this if I ever want to steal something from you. We both know what's gonna happen, so keep it handy.
He laughs and he says, all right. Well...
And this one's for Mulek, and this one's for Thaldohr, because they both love giving me treats. This and Krenraid, I don't know. Their treats are sometimes weird.
Oh, I bet you Krenraid would love some of this peppered beef jerky.
She kind of like cut a stare over him and says, it's mine. Don't even think about it.
Well, speaking of Krenraid and Thaldohr, they're waiting on me down in the armory. I'm going to go down there and help them out. You need me to send someone up here to relieve you of the babysitting duties?
She'll kind of look in the room, and then she'll kind of like look back at you and say, do I have to go back?
Well, just
I like the kids, but oh my god, they never wear out.
No, that's mine. You hear from inside the room. No, it's mine. And then the other one. No, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine.
He kind of moves back and leans in the doorway. And he says, "Remember about the story."
And then they both, and they're grabbing a hold of one toy that they have, and when you speak, they just freeze, and they look over at you, and they have this terrified look, and then they're like, "Oh, no, we'll be good. Please leave us. Please read us a story. Please read us a story."
All right, now y'all behave and listen to Miss Bell here, okay? And do what she says.
Okay. I'm sorry, what did you say, Ivy?
I want to help out. I want to be next to the fire.
All right, well, like I said, he walks over and let me get someone to relieve you, and you can come hang out with us if you want. And he pats her on the head, and he heads off to find the Count. And be like, "Hey, man, you gotta give Bell a break here."
Actually, okay, you find the Count, and he says they love the cooks, and the cooks love them. You could send one of the cooks from the kitchen. One of the ogres could babysit the kids.
Okay, that's what he does.
Okay, all right. So one of the ogres comes to relieve Bell, and then Bell, you can head off over to the other map when we get there to join them. Okay, and Thaldohr, was it you that was going to go join Mulek after a while, or was that somebody else?
Oh, that was me. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I'm helping. I'm helping.
Yeah.
Krenraid.
So he'll stop by the library, I guess, for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. You guys can stop by the library, which is right over here, and you're just in time to find some interesting information. Or as Mulek is getting ready to find some interesting information. But hey, Mulek, just as you start to get into a book, the door opens and there's Falazure and Bell.
The books again, isn't he? She'll kind of run up and say, "Oh, I have a gift for you to give to me because it's actually a gift for me from Falazure. Okay?"
And Mulek looks up a little, like, confused because he was in the middle of, like, thinking, okay, sure.
She'll kind of, like, jump right up on the table and say, "Here, hold on to this for me because Falazure gave the present to me, but I'm giving it to you because I know I'm going to take it from you to give to me. So, deal? Done deal. Good job." She'll kind of, like, put, like, the little bag full of, like, the parchment paper filled with the dried meats and goodies inside it, just right on his lap.
And I'm just going to pick it up and look at it and just set it aside on the table next to me.
Don't eat any of it, it's mine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
You just let me know when you want it back. Or are you just going to take it when I'm not looking?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. I fully understand.
Hey, Mulek, what'd you find out,
It's not
if
that
anything?
hard.
Well, I've been in here looking around. I don't know. Let me think.
Well, you have found out. You were specifically looking at the purple rocks, I believe.
Yes.
And there's 2 main islands that make up the purple rocks, and then little smaller islands. But the 2 main islands are the eastern island of Utheral and the western island of Trisk. And don't worry about writing this down because I'm going to send you a link in a few minutes. But I'm going to summarize what you learn here, and then you can go back and look at it. The couple of things that you learn about it, climate-wise, it's the people there experience winter about 8 months out of the year, and year-round, whether it's winter or summer, there is a dense fog that covers a lot of the islands and their surrounding area, and they tend to call the wind that comes off the sea, they call it the Arl's breath, which is named after a kind of a demigoddess of the giants, is Arl. Now, one of the things that they are extremely superstitious people, and they are superstitious to the point that in some of their communities, the use of magic can be punishable by death.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of rural people out in the sticks, across the Forgotten Realms, across Faerun, that the farther away you get from major cities, the more suspicious they become of magic, and hedge wizards like to stay away from these little villages in large part, because if people find out you are magically making light, or you are magically causing fires, they think that you must be in the service of some kind of demon, and the only way to purify you is to feed you to the fires of the gods. There's an unusual thing about their iconography there. While you will often find temples of Tempest, who is one of the gods of the Forgotten Realms pantheon, and you'll sometimes find temples of Umberly, all of the iconography of these deities, they appear where their arms do not end in hands, but their arms end in tentacles. And usually their arms will split into like 4 or 5 or sometimes even as many 8 tentacles on each arm.
Okay.
As it gets to about the wrists. And then, mainly people sustain themselves by fishing, but there's also some treasure hunting that happens there, because on the island of Trisk, which is the western island, off of the north shore, there is an area that is commonly known as Ascarle, Ascarle, but it is the ruins, sometimes called the Sunken City, the ruins of an elven city that was sunk under the waves. The city's ruins are about as large as the city of Waterdeep, and it is said that this city was destroyed by the Drow in an ancient war between the Drow and Surface Elves. And so because it's an ancient city, there's always people thinking, well, there must be artifacts down there, but there's also a lot of underwater undead down there and all kinds of other nasty things, and it's a line that catches your eye is that the Sunken City is rumored to be a stronghold, or perhaps even the main headquarters of the group that calls themselves the Kraken Society. So,
and it's an underwater ruin. It would all be underwater.
Yeah, it's an underwater ruin, and it's underwater in like a frigid Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
So it's like if it wasn't salt water, it would probably freeze solid, by the time you get into mid-fall.
Gotcha. And knowing that 8 months are winter, what type of are we in a winter time or a summer time?
You're in the fall, heading towards winter at this point.
All right.
So it would probably feel like the dead of winter. Now, of course, it's an island out in the middle of the ocean, so there will probably be a lot of snowfall. But because it's surrounded by salt water, they, may or may not, get iced over.
Okay.
But it's probably a good bet that in the dead of winter, the area between the islands probably freezes over.
Okay.
But you don't know how far the ocean would freeze out from the edges of the islands.
Okay.
Not that would be a concern for you guys anyway, because you're not in a ship that would have to deal with surface ice.
Right. Are there any drawings or images?
There's not really any drawings. There's some history, and it kind of goes back into sort of where the people came from and who some of the rulers have been over time. And it gives you a little bit of information on some of the settlements that are there.
Okay.
But that's about it.
All right. I will share. Yes, this place is very interesting. The people, especially those away from the small cities, are going to be suspicious of magic. It's going to be cold. The waters are cold. There's temples of Tempest, temples of Umberlee. The interesting thing, though, that might be a problem for us is dense fog covers these islands, so it may be hard for us to see from the sky what is down below unless we catch it on a non-foggy day. And then there's some history of rumors, sunken city, some other stuff, but nothing else that might help us get to the location, but it may be a little difficult to see from the air. So that's kind of a bummer.
Out of character, what would the two lore bards know about it? And if so, can we attempt to see what we would know based on songs or stories or legends?
Out of character, that would be determined by an appropriate roll, probably for you guys, history, to see what kinds of things you may have read or what you might have heard about them in songs, which could be similar to what Mulek found, might have a little bit more details of certain things, a little bit less of other things.
If I'm not mistaken, I wrote this down, but I have. Never mind. I think that's a different totally character. I want to say I had advantage on one knowledge check, one something, but that could be, I could be confused that with something else.
Oh, I do believe that is a feature your other character has. I won't swear that it's not something this character has, but I think it's a feature.
Well, okay. Yep. I'm gonna say nope. I don't know squat.
No.
Sounds like, hey, there was an ancient war there.
And then Bell got a 20. And so what Bell knows is Bell has heard some songs or has sung some songs about this. There's a place on the island of Trisk called Ulf of Thuger, and while that sounds like a person, it's actually the name of a settlement. And the reason you know it is because there's a song about a king from maybe 140 years ago, someone called King Selger, and it's kind of a song that talks about his exploits in war, and how there was a war between the two islands, and King Selger ultimately landed on the shores of the other island, battled for control of it, and he wound up killing King Rum and 200 of the other island's best soldiers. So that is what you know about that. So you know a song about it. It doesn't. So it's a slightly different information than what Mulek summarized, but it is those sort of details. And as promised, James, where are we? We are. There you are.
I wrote down most of those. If you just give me the names of the islands, that's all I really need.
Yeah, okay, well, I've already...
Okay,
there you go.
Perfect, thanks.
And ignore the add text that's in there.
Yep.
All right. So that is the what is happening in the library. And then real quickly, I want to double back to Des. on the over here.
It wasn't a rook. It was a giant eagle that I can transform into.
Okay, a giant eagle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I thought a rock would probably be too many hit dice, or too high a CR, because I think basically it's the CR of a creature that you get. So yeah, you could turn into a giant eagle if you wish.
Okay. And so, as a giant eagle, I am going to take off and kite in the wind.
Okay.
And then I am going to start flying around the clouds, under, over, through. I am looking for what might be causing the changes in the weather that do not seem natural.
Okay, you fly off to the west, and as you fly off to the west, you do begin to get closer and closer to the leading edge of the storm. And as you are approaching, there's definitely more of the sound of thunder, and you see flashes of lightning. And you fly for maybe a half hour or so, and then you catch a glimpse of something. And at first you're not sure what it is, but you begin to look for it again. And as you look for it again, yes, there it is, a second time. And you're thinking, what in the world is that? And then there's a much larger and much louder peal of thunder that accompanies.
It's awesome.
One of those lightning strikes that just, like pulsates a little bit. And as it pulsates, you can see in the leading edge of one of the clouds, you can see what looks like a gigantic humanoid face. And it's a face that has billowing white hair made of storm clouds. And it appears to be looking out, towards the east as it's moving relentlessly towards the edge of the Sword Coast. And for just a split second, it seems like the eyes of this face lock on to the giant eagle there. And then as they do, there's yet another roll of thunder. And accompanying that roll of thunder, you see this figure open its mouth and laugh. And that is where we're going to take our break. All right, so players, we have reached our break, and when we come back, we will have Dez's report of what was discovered out there. Viewers, I am going to bring up the timer, put it on, and we will head off for our break now. I'm going to also put us back on some of our music. For this particular break, I'm going to put on a piece of music called Asgard from the tabletop music sound set. So enjoy this while we are away. Players, remember you can go to the off-stream channel to chat away from chat. And I'm going to mute myself so you guys don't hear my microphone clattering around. All right. Players and viewers, welcome back. I'm gonna bring us back to our map. Okay, so let us see. I think nope, wrong level. What level do I want to be on here? I want to take you guys to yes, I want to take you guys to this level that I am on. Okay. All right, so after some things go on in the morning, around midday, Des, you have made your reconnaissance flight, and you've seen what you've seen. I presume at the end of that, you head back to the castle to alert everybody.
Well, I definitely am going to be looking into this because it's just like, what the hell is this shit?
Okay, well then, make me a... For you, because you're a druid, make me a nature check. I think this would fall under nature. Oh. Okay. Well, there's maybe a little bit of giant eagle poop escapes Des.
He escaped me there.
Yeah. With a 21, there is one visage of legend that you've heard about, and there's some features that you've kind of in your mind's eye, you've always known what those features would look like, even though you've never really seen this entity depicted before.
Mm-hmm.
But you know this face, and you hope to goodness that this is an illusion. You certainly hope this is not an avatar. But the face that is in that cloud that has that malevolence looking at in your direction in this building storm, that appears to be the face of Yancy Bin. Yancy Bin, who is rumored to be the principal power, the elemental prince, if you will, of the plane of air.
Hey.
And what would that power from the plane of air be doing in the natural world over the trackless sea, heading towards Waterdeep? With nothing but a flying castle standing between it and the coast.
Okay. And we are between it and Waterdeep.
Yep.
Okay. So he immediately will do a wing over and begin like trying to find the fastest route his wings can take him to get back to the castle.
Okay. And as you fly back, the laughter of the thunder seems to chase you.
Yeah, that's a... Oh, shit. Shit. So yeah, I will... As soon as I come back to the castle, I will basically come winging in. I won't even change shape. I will literally just fly through the halls until I can find
Okay.
who I'm looking for.
Yeah, basically looking around for everybody. You find on this level, you find Krenraid and Thaldohr down here, and perhaps by then we can say that Falazure has come from the library and joined them. And then he would be able to tell you, or he would be able to say that up in the library would be Mulek and Bell. Unless Bell just is tagging along behind Falazure.
Could be following Falazure around.
Okay, alright, so Mulek and IG would then be up in the
Okay.
in
So
the library. So
since there are doors basically where the griffins.
actually, there's these open areas here. You
Yeah,
could
that's
fly
what I
in.
was. That was
Okay.
I was saying kind of like doors, windows, whatever they are. So they'll see this massive eagle just come flying in at high speed and basically land on one of these cages, like trying to grab a hold of it to keep him from flying any further. And then Des changes back down into himself, and looks like death warned over. He's pretty much really looks scared as he climbs down off of the cage.
Yeah,
Yep.
Krenraid, Thaldohr, Falazure, Bella, you see this giant eagle fly in, and oh, hey, now that eagle has turned into Des.
Alright, guys. Alright,
Impressive
thank you for the
trick.
snack.
Well, you look like a good snack. Can I get don't anymore?
Oh, no. It was delicious, though. Where you been?
Where's sorry, out of character. Who is it?
Mulek.
Where is Mulek? Where is the count? We need to. I have news. It's very important.
Mulek would be in the library. The Count. Belle, have you seen the Count?
Falazure.
The last time any of you saw the Count, he was up in the navigation room.
Yeah,
Well,
he's probably with that scrying glass, right?
Yeah, I talked to him. He's up in the control tower.
Well, I don't want to have to tell people this twice. We've got trouble.
What kind of trouble?
This storm, and he looks out towards the west. I flew into the storm because it is not natural looking, feeling, and, well, the face that stared me back from the clouds was that of Yancy Bin. And he just kind of pauses to see if anybody has a freaking clue who that is.
Religion check.
Religion or history?
Religion, history, or nature, I would say. No, for people who are not druids, religion or history.
All right, I will roll religion with guidance.
21 history.
Also, real world religion. 20.
Nice, right?
I have knowledge of some very specific things.
And a 10 for one of the bards.
Apparently, a cleric has terrible religion. Okay.
Belle? Is Belle gonna try to make
did.
her... Oh, Belle already did.
Roll the
I'm
20.
sorry. Thaldohr. Okay, All right. Yes. Bell, Thaldohr, and Krenraid, all of you recognize the name Yancy Bin. Legendary entity is rumored to be the for lack of a better term, the monarch or the ruler of the elemental plane of air. He supposedly dwells in a palace of air on the elemental plane of air, and it's like he would be one of the entities that the cults of elemental evil would be attempting to somehow manifest. And if they have actually succeeded in bringing even an avatar or a reflection of Yancy Bin to the material plane, they are very far along in what they're doing, and they are not to be trifled with.
No, my mother used to tell me horror stories of Yancy Ben. You'd make sure you always lock up your little door, otherwise he might come in. He's not real though, is he?
Wanna bet? What the hell was staring me back from the clouds? I honestly don't think somebody can cast an illusion that big or that lifelike along with a storm. And it looked like he was heading right towards Waterdeep.
Okay, we need to get the rest of us.
Yeah.
That does sound a little scary.
Yeah.
The people on the Purple Rocks like to fish.
I'm running out the door towards to those library.
I'm running to the library, me and Krenraid.
Okay. All right. So we don't have to change maps. James, you can just drag your token and IG out onto this map.
The door and say, Mulek, we got problems.
Yeah. Let's say
a giant windbag's been spotted. Help.
Yeah.
A little bit more in depth than that, but yeah, something of that nature. You need to come now.
And then somebody would have gone probably to get Count Thalin. So he would come down and he can be part of this discussion or listen to your discussion to know what you all are planning.
So I did it. Mulek with a 27. Jeez.
Yeah, Mulek. Okay, Mulek with a 27. Okay. Here's what you know. You know that that gale force winds extend a 5-mile radius away from wherever Yancy Bin happens to be, and that when that comes into areas on land, that can whisk away smaller light objects, dismantle roofs and fences, tear branches from trees, and make flight for all but the most powerful flying creatures impossible. Certainly nothing as flimsy as a pair of, boots of flying or the fly spell cast by a wizard would stand up in anything like that. There's also thunderstorms in a 5-mile radius centered on Yancy Bin's lair. Cyclones can form anywhere within a 10-mile radius of his lair. Every hour, there's a chance that that cyclones will spontaneously form in any particular spot within that range. And then, so yeah, you know that that is really kind of an unnatural sort of stormy condition. And then with a 27, you also know that he is capable of some very powerful magical abilities. It is said that he can destroy structures with bolts of lightning, and that he can even snuff out people's lives with a wave of his hand.
Ooh.
Whatever that means.
Any weaknesses?
Any weaknesses?
Asking the right questions.
As you start to think about it, he's like, okay, weaknesses. Well, he's resistant to cold, fire, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons. He's immune to lightning, poison, and thunder. And he's also immune to being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, knocked prone, or restrained. Yeah, you can't remember reading about any vulnerabilities he has.
All right. This guy's Superman. We need to find a storm cellar somewhere and batten down the hatches. This is not looking good.
He's heading towards Waterdeep. Do you understand what he can do to Waterdeep? He could sink it.
Count Thaldohr says, I've never heard of any force that could damage a flying castle. If there was any place that might be safe to battle him, it might be here, but I will do as you say. Do we want to take on this menace? It would be a shame if something happened to a city like Waterdeep because we did nothing.
Well, do these ballista shoot out magical spears?
Oh, they do not, but are there not some spellcasters that can touch a weapon and make it for a time magical? We could.
So Thaldohr is thinking, it's like, wait, he looks over at Mulek. What type of magic? Could you just touch and put the light spell on it? Would that not make it a magical weapon? And if you want me to roll Arcana, I'm not metagaming, but I mean, if you want me to roll Arcana, I will.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an Arcana.
I mean, my intelligence is pretty high. That'd be interesting. 14.
Well, I mean, it would produce light. I don't know if that counts.
You're kind of Thaldohr is kind of dubious that something that produces light, but with a 14, you can't quite remember what the name of the spell is.
Got you. It's
But you have heard of things, probably stories that your uncle Dorzafir told about maybe someone that adventured with him that was able to, or somebody that they met that was able to touch a non-magical weapon and imbue it with the properties of a magical weapon for a short time.
Got you. So I relay that to Mulek.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't know.
I know somebody that might be able to. Why don't we call up Mordenkainen? He's pretty powerful wizard.
Speaking of powerful magic users, I mean, I'm not trying to run from a fight, but they do have the whole Black Staff Order there in Waterdeep. I think they might be able to take care of themselves.
Well, we need to alert them then, because they are going to need time to set up.
I mean, the character, Des is definitely sure that this is headed towards Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sure.
But we're still between him and Waterdeep. He's still coming. All right,
yeah, he's still to your west.
There's also all the boats that hang around outside Waterdeep and the shackle town that's built up around it as well. Like, yeah, Waterdeep is a formidable city. Not as good as some of the dwarven cities of old, but yeah, it's pretty good. But a lot of people would still die if we just let it go.
I don't think we could take this on.
Now, Mulek, you don't think it's actually this entity in full strength, do you? You think it's probably just an avatar?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but if it gets close enough to us, we're going to start feeling some pretty strong winds, and definitely the signs appear to be this Yancy Bin. He's very powerful, and he could snuff out our lives with a wave of his hand. So,
I don't like that. That's scary.
My best course of action was to get to a safe place and observe and see what this Yancy Bin does, and hopefully he just passes by, because I don't know if this is a fight we can win, but if it comes to that, we'll have to defend ourselves.
Well, I do.
Like this way. You have to gain.
And as you guys are talking, you notice there's a noticeable rise in the sound of the wind from outside. And as you look out through these openings where the griffins used to be, you can now see your view from those openings. The entire sky that can be seen from that is just like a wall of massive black clouds. And there's the sound of thunder is approaching, and you can see kind of within those clouds just lightning is popping off and on, and it's nearly continuously somewhere in that wall of clouds there's a flash of lightning inside that storm.
Well,
if he's coming directly towards us, we probably want to head either to its left or right. Try to get out of its way if we can.
How about, do you, since you're a wizard, perhaps maybe we can notify Mordenkainen, or do you know anybody in the Black Staff Order?
No, I don't.
I'm sure he does. Maybe I'll just get a message to him real quick and let him know what's going on. See what he says.
I think we should definitely send messages wherever we can before, your finger waggling runs into issues because of all the air stuff that's happening.
Pipeline or as the crow flies, so to speak, from Waterdeep?
Well, you crossed over the coast nearly a full day ago, so you're probably, getting close to a couple 100 miles out from the coast.
Where did you guys just in Waterdeep? Did you meet some people there?
I don't know anybody from the Black Staff Order, to be honest with you.
No, but didn't you run into a shopkeeper and he could tell somebody and they could tell somebody?
I mean, I've met Volo a couple of times. I guess I could tell Volo.
No one listens to that wingback.
Well, I mean, he is a fellow bard. He'd be good at getting the word around.
Yeah, but it also depends on how drunk he is.
Well, do y'all have any other better options?
Yeah, we're prepared to fight the damn thing because it may not give us much choice.
I would say reach out to Mordenkainen ASAP. We need to get a message to Mordenkainen, and then he can alert the Black Staff Order.
So this is the message I send to Mordenkainen. So I cast sending. Yancy Bin heading towards us in Waterdeep, very close. We are several hundred miles west. We need help. Notify Black Staff Order.
And a message comes back. There's a few sound effects. Okay. You guys can go ahead and continue talking until you get this message back.
Oh,
Okay, so if he does come right at us, what is our plan here? Because we could use the shuttle and we just leave, right? We all get together, we get the kids and everybody else, and we use the shuttle, we just fuck off.
yeah, I don't think, where is Lord Felagos at the moment?
He's gathering help.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be nice if the dragon lost his castle.
No, I agree, but if the option is that or, some guy farts in our general direction and we all fall over, then I think we need a clearer picture of what we're fighting here. I don't know, maybe if Mulek could go with Dej and get his really knowledgeable eyes on the thing.
Fortunately, I'm trying to see if Dez has illusion or anything that he can use to shape a picture, but he doesn't.
Druidcraft.
Oh, that's true.
Mordenkainen doesn't seem to be much help.
He says, that's unfortunate. I'm sure those whippersnappers will be caught with their pants down. Apparently, the elemental cults are further in their plans. Where's your dragon?
Yeah, he's just asking me where the dragon is.
That's a good, wow.
Yeah. So I can't waste any more spells talking to this guy.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I like Krenraid's plan. I mean, we just try to see as much as we can. Let's just keep close, and if we've got to use the shell to leave, we do that.
We might need to do that anyway to get the kids away. If it does come right at us, those kids can't be here.
Yeah,
And then
we'll
just
take them to their fellow
back
kind.
to the castle after, maybe?
yeah. I mean, we could. Yeah, we could always try to come back.
Well, I got an idea. And lately, it's a repetitive idea. But I could go back to Mordenkainen and bring him and the boys back. If that's even an option.
I think Mordenkainen could come here if he wanted to. And if he don't want to, he's not going to come with you, even if you showed up in front of his face.
That's a pretty big risk, because you could end up somewhere else, and then we can only wait for so long, and then
that would not work by terms of the teleport spell imbued in the helm, because there's a line that says the destination must be known to you, and it must be on the same plane of existence as you.
Got it.
So no matter how familiar you are with the Amber Temple or with Barovia, you could not teleport there. Not to mention that it's probably warded by Strahd against people just popping in and out at random.
Yeah,
you know.
Falazure doesn't know that though.
Yeah. Falazure doesn't. He would have no way of knowing. But with all of the magic that you guys have, you would realize after talking about it for a moment that, oh yeah, that only works on the same plane. So the helm wouldn't help us. We would need a more powerful version of teleportation, basically.
Good idea, Falazure, but it just won't work in practicality.
Well,
I think we
I
need to
guess
either
you're right.
ride out this storm, go around this guy, NC Ben, go around him, and hopefully warn the people of Waterdeep that he's coming.
Hey, Falazure, why don't you just suggest that he go home?
that's real funny.
It's doubly funny because Mulek knows that it doesn't work.
Did Mulek share that information with us or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I take that back. I wouldn't have said that.
No take backs. That's just Mulek being a smart aleck. Oh, Thaldohr's rubbed off on Mulek a little bit.
Yeah.
He won't even drink a single drop of alcohol. What sense of humor?
There's a humor that comes with existential dread at the thought of fighting an arbiter of the airplane. Maybe.
Okay, there is a sudden squall of rain and a blast of wind that comes into this opening here, and it just it's rain that's just bordering on being sleet. It's not quite ice, but it's extremely, extremely cold rain, and it's being driven extremely hard by this wind, and it stings when it hits the skin. And the castle actually, for the first time you've been on there, it seems to buffet a little bit and rock, as though the winds are powerful enough that it's kind of affecting it. And Count Thulin's eyes go wide and says, "Oh, this is worse than I thought. I must go check on something." And he starts to run down this hallway.
I'm gonna start working on a spell. But I don't tell anyone what I'm doing. I'm just quickly gonna start doing something. But it's gonna take some time, and I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna start doing it and then see what happens with the time.
Okay. And those of you watching the Count, you see that he turns and goes down the ramp towards the courtyard of the castle. So what would the rest of you like to do?
I'm gonna go peek out the window.
You mean over here on the edge?
Yeah, just looking out the window.
Okay. That's fine.
Like right there. I'm not going to get right up on the edge.
Okay.
And we never saw Thaldohr again.
Yeah.
Born at night, not last night.
You are looking up and you see high up on the face of this storm, you see what looks at first like a cloud seem to tear away, and the cloud begins to descend towards the castle, and it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and then kind of as wisps of this cloud peel away, you can see that within that cloud there is in fact a humanoid form, and that humanoid form is at least as large as your cloud giant friend.
Gee.
And it is making a beeline for the courtyard of the castle.
Oh God, we got trouble, guys. We got trouble, and the Count's out in the courtyard by himself. We need to go now.
I'm grabbing a one of the dismantled pieces of the cage, thinking that it's metal and metal's good at this point, and I'm running after them.
Okay.
Well, I heard Kalimshan's really nice this time of year. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't say that.
Hey, dips. Counter teleportation gone. Yeah.
Bard of Helm. That's what it says. Nope. Just kidding.
All right, as Mulek sees everyone take off, I stop what I'm doing and I follow.
Okay. All right. Well, then as you come out there, you see Count Thulin standing, and his left arm is just extended with an index finger pointing up towards the sky, and his eyes are wider than you think that they could possibly go.
Hey.
And at the end, where his finger is pointing, you see this figure in billowing cloud with hair that looks like a thunderhead flowing behind it, moving at what seems like an impossibly fast rate of speed.
Thaldohr ducks real quick. Thaldohr ducks in this alcove right here. Ducks behind it. Pulls out a scroll of sending. Is it sending or message that we got the scroll? I think they're sending, right?
Sending, because that's the one that will work long distances and between planes.
So I pull out a scroll of sending, read it quickly as I can, and I send him a short, quick, and sweet message to Lord Felagos. Message saying, Lord Felagos, emergency, need help, and I tell the name Yensin Ben is arriving on the castle now.
Falazure says something encouraging and battle-like to Bell as a form of bardic inspiration.
Okay. All right. Thaldohr has had one pre-battle action. Falazure has had one pre-battle action. I'm going to go around the rest of the room. Bell, you get one pre-battle action. Anything you want to do?
Should probably look at him, look at the big giant, and say, you know what? You probably got this. Just to kind of try and give encouragement to what's his face? Great purpose. Big ogre dude. Not ogres.
Oh, the giant?
Yeah.
Okay,
Give him
so
bardic
he gets bardic inspiration. Bell has bardic inspiration from Falazure. Okay. Krenraid, one pre-battle action from you. You were bringing the metal, or some metal from the cage.
One of the larger rungs I could find, yeah.
And so, where would you like to place your stuff? Okay, there you are. Anything you want to do with that metal now that you're here?
Now that things are kicking off in earnest and, my childhood trauma is becoming a reality, immediately aiming it like a spear forwards and getting ready to charge.
Okay.
I'd imagine I'd be last because I'm carrying a large metal rung, so I thought it would slow me down.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't rolled initiative yet. This is all just pre-battle stuff before initiative. Okay, we know Thaldohr. Des, what would you like to do?
Out of character, can you say again what we discovered that he has weaknesses of? Was that one of those we talked about?
And Mulek couldn't remember any weaknesses. Doesn't mean he does. Doesn't mean he doesn't have any, but couldn't remember any. He couldn't remember any.
Okay.
Just a lot of stuff he's resistant to, and a lot of conditions he's immune to, and several damage types he's immune to.
Can we get that posted somewhere?
I had to roll real quick because I had to go to the bathroom, so I just rolled.
Okay. All right.
I would have. I would have told them. Well, I said he was Superman, but I would have told them what. I just couldn't write. I just didn't know because I couldn't write down everything you said. You said them so fast, I couldn't write them down, so I couldn't.
It's okay. It's basically everything non-magical.
I'm gonna put this in the Discord for you. Resistances and immunities per Mulek. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
That's in some of those are things that that'd be obvious. Others are things that are not necessarily so obvious. Okay, so I'm going to come back to you, Des. Going to move on to everybody else. Falazure did his thing. Mulek, what would you like to do?
I'm going to say I didn't get
pre-battle action.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't get one because I was in the middle of doing something else, and when I saw them run, I ran after, so I probably was one of the last ones to kind of come down. So.
Okay. All right. Are you where you want to be at the start of things? Is IG where you want him to be at the start of things?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. There's not a wrong answer. Yeah,
I think
I
would move in front of the. I'd move here if I'm allowed to reposition before the battle begins.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm getting in the way. I don't want the giant getting hit first.
Okay, and then we'll come back to Des. Knowing now resistances and immunities, one thing you want to do before we roll initiative.
I want to cast Enhance Ability.
Okay, okay, Enhance Ability on whom?
Which one is our big magic user?
Mulek.
Sorry, I'll cast it on Mulek.
And you're gonna enhance what? Intelligence. That's his spellcasting ability.
Yes.
Okay. All right. This always looks painful, Mulek, but it means just there's power radiating out of your head. Okay,
nice.
So
you're not suffering an aneurysm or anything.
Yeah. So what does that? Yeah. What does that give me?
Let me run it. There.
Okay, concentration. It's gonna be Fox's cunning. The target has advantage on intelligence checks.
Roll 2d6.
Oh, roll 2d6 temporary hit points. So you get 2d6 temporary hit points, and you have advantage on intelligence checks.
That's just with Bear's endurance. He just has the advantage on the intelligence checks, I think.
Oh. Shoot.
It's a lot of blurb. No one can be blamed for that.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. Yeah, okay.
okay.
Yeah, because then the cat's grace gives you the immunity to damage falling 20. No, thank you.
So what do I have?
Fox's cunning.
Advantage on intelligence checks. Fox's cunning.
No, I'm wrong. No.
No, you don't get the
Oh.
temporary hit points, unfortunately.
So advantage on intelligence checks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's this is really watered down from third edition.
Yeah.
Third edition used to be a lot more powerful, but they've kind of watered it down.
It was a
And it's
requirement
like-
to run around with these potions, you know, some fox's cunning or a cat's grace or whatever. You know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then we can all go ahead and roll initiative. And so I am going to pull up this. I'm going to pull up.
Now, don't get me wrong, but isn't initiative an intelligence check?
No, dexterity.
Oh, okay.
Also, you can't get advantage on initiative. You just you roll it twice from some class features, like the barbarian has. But there is no advantage.
Okay. All right. Okay. So,
All is
he's
well.
got that and
What in the man? I am rolling the dookie tonight, boys and girls.
Well, let's hope you're getting the bad stuff out of the way now, so that maybe next week or now we're okay, right?
I think we all know I roll well when it counts.
Yeah. It's been a proven fact.
and then it looks like
I mean, if it keeps on going, he's gonna have to end up worshiping Timora on top of Helm.
You can't sleep around too much, otherwise the gods might get a bit pissy.
Yeah.
It's probably the right word.
Okay, let me check this. Yep. That was not checked for him. Well, it's a good thing then I didn't grab his token. So that's oh crap, I was dumb. When did I do that? Let me go back here. Yep, it's so add the turn, and he is 11.10. All right.
I better put
12.10.
I better put mine in as well. Let's see. It's
remember, if you click
it's
on your
Dex.
token. Yep. If you go to your character sheet, there should be an option to.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right. Oh, and then you can update that. So I'm going to put everything. This is 5th edition, so we do initiative in descending order.
That is correct.
Yes. It's like on Saturday night game, it's initiative in ascending order.
Oh yeah, you're doing AD&D, aren't you?
Yeah,
Oh,
second edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so good news is that most of you guys go first, and Thaldohr, just before Mulek has his turn, you get a response from Lord Felgalos. Defend my castle. I'm coming with friends.
Ooh.
Big.
So, all right, and oh, yes, I gotta check something. All right, I need to change the sound set. And then. Okay. All right, there's some battle music.
Specifically air elemental battle.
Specifically air elemental battle music, yes.
They had something for that, huh?
Yes, they do. Okay. All right, Mulek, you are up, so you can take your turn whenever you're ready.
All right, so this elemental, obviously, I can see it coming. Like it means to do harm to us.
It definitely doesn't look like it's coming to sell Avon to everybody.
Okay, and he's up in the air. Like,
for logistics standpoint, we'll say he's within 100 feet from where you are standing.
But how high above the platform?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is the distance to him physically is within 100 feet. That accounts for his height as well.
I guess what I'm saying is, if I was standing next to him, would I be able to hit him with a sword, or is he up 10 or 20 feet? Would he be out of my reach?
Oh no, he's just cresting this this feature here, which is a ledge 30 feet above the cobblestone floor.
Okay.
So he is 30 feet above you.
All right.
And 100 feet away.
Yeah. All right. So I am going to shoot. I'll go ahead and do this. So I will move. I'll move 10 feet over. I'm going to cast haste on Krenraid.
Ooh. Okay.
I feel power!
I'm going to step back, and knowing that it's not going to do the full damage, I don't want to waste it, and I tell IG, fire! And he casts Fireball on him.
Okay. All right. So there is a okay, and then this is going to go from. Oh no, I'm sorry. It'll explode on him. And I was thinking you get to draw that and it would blow up at the end, but you don't. So, go ahead and roll your damage. Oh, you did. Dexterity save, DC 17. So he is going to roll a dex save 27.
Jeez.
And so he makes that, so he would make the save for
7
half
damage.
of 15, and then because of his feature, he takes half of that for 7 damage. All right. He doesn't look happy about that.
And that'll be my turn.
That will be your turn.
Actually, so these steps, am I able to... So I went 10, came back 10. Are these steps like out of his view,
this. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a hard corner there. So from where he is, he does not have. Well, that's where he has line of sight to. So you wanna get somewhere that he doesn't have line of sight.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Now you're basically hiding behind IG at that point. So.
Let's see. Oh, I could actually go one more because I went over here. I went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yep, I can go right there.
Yeah. Okay. So you're effectively out of his line of sight from where he is. Now, once he moves, that'll change. But
yeah,
for now.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. Let's see. At the end of your turn. Oh no, not. Well, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Now, because of his height, he's not quite close enough. All right. So next up is Krenraid.
Okay, feeling the surge of caffeine that's just been injected into my veins, I'm going to open up with shouting the magic word and then focusing my mind as best Krenraid can on creating multiple of themselves, just shouting, "Copy!" Pushing his ring forwards ever so slightly while shouldering the metal drum. cast mirror image.
Okay. All
Let's do this
right.
before I rage.
Okay, and we're gonna say the effect for this is a little circle here, and for right now you have 3 images.
Perfect. Yeah. Great.
If you wind up losing images, we can reduce that count.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yep.
Okay. So realizing that it's working, I'm starting to see multiple versions of myself surround me. I'm going to start shouting, "All right, you big gassy whipper, come at me!" and just run at him like an idiot.
Okay. All right.
I know he's in the air.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get as close as I can. I'm going to get right up to him. And
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
gonna lob unless anyone shouts out, of course you can react and shout stuff out. Have you got plans? I'm going to lob the metal rung at him to see if it does anything.
Okay. Give me a ranged. Actually, it's probably going to wind up because you're not proficient with throwing these things. Just give me a strength check.
Yes,
And
it's
that's
an
gonna-
improvised ranged attack, right?
Yeah, it's
So
an
it's just a
improvised
strength
range.
check.
Yeah.
I would have told you that he was resistant to non-magical attacks.
Yeah, but Krenraid doesn't really.
Hey, this is Krenraid.
Yeah,
This
that's
is-
fine.
This is. Hey, well, he's now finger waggling because he's held it. That makes it magical. That's probably the way Krenraid thinks of it.
Honestly, he probably just assumed that the fact that this metal thing was metal and that's made out of air, this is good, right? This works. Okay, let's find out. And obviously it won't, but we're gonna roleplay it.
Kren's trying to conduct electricity so it'll strike the.
Yeah.
So my original plan was to put the metal thing into the ground and use it to holster myself, but that's nowhere near as entertaining as this.
Yeah.
Right. Lob. I'm gonna use a strength check. There we go. Normal roll.
I'll let you. Okay. There you go.
I think that
26.
works.
Yeah. That will bump it into him, and then let me just double check. Okay. Roll me a 1d4. 3. So, it bounces off of him, and wonder of all wonders, it actually seems to hurt him. But
I'm a genius.
At least it affects him enough that he looks down for a moment and notices you, and then he sort of snarls at you, and you can see in the pools of his eyes, it looks like there's lightning crackling in the pools of his eyes.
I got his attention.
Okay, and that anything else, Krenraid?
Yeah, luckily because I have haste, which is very kindly
That's
donated.
right.
My own action was to cast mirror image, but I can use the additional actions from haste to do various things. One of those was to do that attack just now. And then I have a bonus action, which I will be using to rage. So upon lobbing the thing and laughing at him, we're going to cool down, invoke the name of Hillcrest, and then go into a rage.
Okay, and we're going to signify the rage by the little flex. You're flexing, which means you're raging.
Last but not least, free action, which I will be using. I'm going to grab one of the spear tips that I've got in my inventory, and I'm going to stab it into the ground to try and use it as an anchor.
Okay. All right.
Interact with an object.
Okay. All right. And that's Krenraid's turn. Belle, you are up. What would you like to do?
Take her head and mumble to herself, saying, let's try. No sense talking to it anymore. Just kind of prepare a spell of just trying. I don't know why that didn't even let me damage. But anyway, she will be using bolt.
Hide
Big ol'
and bolt. Okay, a ranged spell attack against the target. And you hit an AC 24. And that actually hits. And what kind of damage is it?
It is radiant.
Radiant damage. Okay, so let me take a look at him. Ooh. Hey. That appears to do full damage. Oh, no, wait a minute. What level are you
Fourth
casting
level.
it at? 4th level. Okay, so alright, hold on. I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
I think it's just the first number,
okay,
14 and 16.
14 and 16, so that is 30. 30 points of damage. Because he does not have any resistance to that. And now those eyes seem to dart away from Krenraid and look almost past the giant and focus on the feline form over there in the corner. Alright. Belle, anything else? You want to move, or do you want to stay there? You want a bonus action?
Giggle nervously and say, you guys have fun hitting it now. And she'll kind of like book over the corner and then she'll run up the stairs.
Okay, alright. Sounds like a plan. Thaldohr, you heard back from Lord Felgalos. What would you like to do, Thaldohr? Is Michael with us, or did he have to step away? I think he stepped away, but I thought he was going to be back by now. Maybe he's not. We will get back to him. So Count Thalin. Count Thalin looks to see the surprise going over there, and then he's like, oh, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is. Oh, no. This might work. And he looks over at some rocks. And he just points at those rocks and sweeps his hand towards the elemental, and he does his telekinesis, and then let's see if that. Oh, wait a minute! I heard some bleep, but I don't know that it actually. Oh, because I clicked on. Oh, that's why. I clicked on the thing. Click on that thing. There we go.
Does he want to throw me at the guy?
No, he's trying to throw an object that is going to act as like a hurled weapon. So I guess actually No, okay. It doesn't work that way. All right. What size is he? Yeah, he's size. Okay, so he's going to use it to make a contested strength check and try to hold the elemental in place. So Count Thulin will make a strength check of 25.
Very good.
The elemental. Oh, so for the moment, it looks like the elemental, his movement is halted in midair, and he comes no closer. And Count Thulin says, "Come no closer to this castle, you menace!" And then it is the elemental's turn. And the elemental seems to open his mouth, and he laughs in a noise that sounds like a whirling wind, and he points at the Count, and he uses this is at the end of the Count's turn. He uses one of his... oh, wait, no. He's not close enough to do that. So he's going to have to try a different... okay. He will then... at the end of the Count's turn, he'll simply do this. He will teleport, which just neatly gets out of the strength check, and he teleports right next to the Count. And then when he is there, at the start of his turn, he will make a slam attack. He will make 2 slam attacks. So 1 and 2. So a 33 for the first one, a 17 for the second one. They both will hit. So he takes 17, or he takes 24 force, 11 lightning. Let's see, what does Count Cullen have any resistances? He doesn't. So he takes all of that. 24 and 11 is 35 from the first attack, and 27 from the second attack. And Count Thulin just sort of battered by that. And Yansty Ben says something in a language that sounds like the peals of thunder. Does anybody have Orin as a language?
Negatory.
So.
Okay.
It's all windy to me.
Yeah. Then that's that. And Falazure, you are up.
All right. Well, what do I want to do here? Okay. I'm gonna do this. I will. I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay. Okay. DC 16 Wisdom save. Spirit Guardians. Okay.
He prays a prayer to Helm, and he says, Help me, I protect my friends and those that I care about. And he casts Spirit Guardians, and let's see, I'm in range to get over there. Oh, and I choose all my allies that's out here with me to not be enemies of my Spirit Guardians. And he will move. Well, one question.
Yeah.
Are there still puddles of water on the surface of the?
Yeah, it's always kind of wet out here. Either condensation or overnight rain or whatever. So there's puddles of water, little puddles of water around.
Okay, I'll move right here, and I will.
Okay,
That's pretty much my action, right? Because that's.
Yeah, so he's got to make a wisdom save 24, and that's radiant damage, right? From that?
Let me see. I don't think it doesn't. Why did it not do that? I hate that. Hold on.
It's radiant, yeah, radiant or necrotic. So total of 28 damage. He made his save, so he would take half of that. So he'll take 12 radiant. Because he doesn't have any resistance to radiant. So
Does he take the damage now, or?
Starts his turn now.
Yeah.
Oh, starts his turn. Alright, so then, yeah, we'll have to have him roll a save at the start of his turn. Okay.
Right.
So you cast your spell, you move there. Do you have a bonus action?
I move right there.
Okay.
Bonus action? I'm going to save it.
Well, you have to use it on your turn. You can use a reaction during the round, but if you're going to use a bonus action, you have to use it on your turn.
You can ready an action, but that's your entire action, so that's not the bonus, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if there's something you're thinking about doing that's not a reaction, I'd go ahead and do it now. Otherwise, just wait until your next turn. Okay, all right.
I'm good.
All right. Then at the end of Falazure's turn, before Dez starts his turn, because Yancy Bin regains his legendary actions at the start of his turn. So he glares at the giant, and he will use one of his legendary actions. And it requires a DC 21 Constitution save. And he fails. All right. So I'm not sure why it didn't show, but let me see if that shows. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna have to copy and paste the text.
Is it suffocate or something?
It's the only legendary action he can take.
Yeah.
So he does his suffocate action. He steals the air of one breathing creature he can see within 60 feet. Since the Count failed his con save, the target drops to 0 hit points and is dying.
Good lord.
So he just immediately goes to 0 and he is down.
What about Bardic Inspiration? So you can roll that for his Constitution?
Oh. Yeah, that's a what? That's a 1. What is your Bardic Inspiration these days?
D8.
1d8. Ooh.
Faint.
It's, yeah.
8! 17 and 8.
Ooh.
Okay.
So he's not down for the count?
He's not down for the count. In fact, he just seems to shake it off. He doesn't take any because this is an all or nothing.
I mean, you can't
it's
breathe,
like it's
but-
like there's this visual whirlwind of force that looks like it tries to reach into the Count's mouth, almost like an arm made out of a vortex, like it's reaching down his throat. And then the Count just shakes his head and bats it away, and he gasps for breath, but he's still standing. And now the Count is really angry. And Des, you are up.
Alright. I hope I'm reading things correctly.
Okay.
I cast.
Moonbeam. 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Where would you like to center? And the range is 120 feet from you. So, where would you like to center it? Right on him. Okay, so then what we will do is we will draw us a cycle. And we're gonna draw us a nice little yellow cycle with a nice little yellow thing. And once I get the circle nice, then I'm gonna move it to where you want it. And unfortunately I can't turn this into a token. But it's just right on him. And when a creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it's engulfed in ghostly flames. Must make a con save, and your con is 17, so he will make a constitution saving throw. That was a 20. Now, it takes 2d10 on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. So the damage, go ahead and roll 2d10 for damage, and then we will half it. So you're casting it at second level, right?
Correct.
Okay. 11. So he takes 5 damage from that. But there is a little moonbeam mote of light shining down upon him. And that is the end of the round. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. So
Skip there.
Oh, do we want to let Thaldohr take a shot? I think he's back.
oh, Thaldohr, are you back? Michael, are you back?
Oh, maybe not. He put a message in.
Okay.
Guess he's not listening.
Oh, okay. All right.
We could just say that he held his action and then he does it at the
Yeah.
beginning of
Well.
next
Okay.
Is his
Okay.
mic muted?
We'll let him.
No.
No, we'll let him. Let him start at the beginning of next session.
Yeah, he can hold his action or delay his turn in the initiative. We can just say he goes next.
Okay. All right. Well, then in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn this down. I am going to go back to tabletop music. And we are going to play a great adventure. Players, viewers, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. This has been the Sword Coast Chronicles. We are in the middle of a battle with an air elemental. The party has a cloud giant on their side. They have also learned that there are dragon allies en route. What will the outcome of this battle be? We will have to find out in our next session. And unfortunately, Scary Jerry, I know you are watching us from Australia, but next Thursday is American Thanksgiving. And so we will not be playing next Thursday because of all of the holiday commitments that people have, family and everything. And in fact, you guys are going to be the first of the groups to find out, but actually none of the games is going to be going next weekend because I have several different sets of friends that are coming into town, and they all have different schedules with the relatives that live here, and so they all want to do things at different times. So I've got stuff starting on Wednesday night with friends going all the way through Sunday evening. So I'm not going to be able to run any of my games next weekend. So we will be back in 2 Thursdays from tonight for the next session of the Sword Coast Chronicles. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And
it's been a long time since I've seen Yanzi Ben. A long time. I was impressed how much I actually remembered.
Yes, and Paul, why don't you go ahead before we get out of here and let everybody know what is coming up with your social media, your games and everything between now and next time. I think I still have yes, I do still have your link here.
Indeed. So on the Tuesday coming up next week at 8 p.m. CST, which luckily doesn't conflict, we're going to be doing our Walker, the Witchlight Carnival is what we're going to be doing, and it's going to its conclusion. So we're going to be seeing who gets crowned the monarch of the carnival. So basically it's like the King of Fools from Notre Dame, and we're going to see what happens. It won't be good, but I'm looking forward to it anyway.
Okay, and that is over at the Gaijin Games website.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so it's on Twitch at Gaijin Games. It's hosted by Adam, and Guy is one of the players. I am taking part in a news stream, but that's hush-hush right now, so I'll let you guys know when I'm allowed to say something. But
Okay, all right. Well, I have gone ahead and I have followed them, but there's the link. And then, of course, on Wednesday nights, we encourage everybody to go and follow our friends over at the Action Sturge. So,
but don't be surprised if you don't see any content for a few weeks because they've just had a baby.
Oh, yep. All right.
I was going to mention. So Maddie had her baby slightly early, which threw their plans out of whack slightly. So that is now their new priority. So definitely head over there. They're a great bunch of people. They make some really entertaining content, and they definitely put the extra mile in. But they won't be on for a bit because they got priorities.
Yes. Well, if nothing else, go over to the Action Sturge and drop them a congratulations on the newborn. My neighbors across the street, they just had a baby a couple of weeks ago, right at the end of October. So, they're full in new parent mode. Every time I see Lucas, he's always walking around with a big grin on his face like a fool, but he also looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. And both are probably true. He probably is extremely happy and also extremely sleep deprived. All right, and Michael, did you make it back? I guess not. Okay, go check out Michael. He is over at twitch.tv/doorsappear. Twitch.tv/doorsappear to see what he's doing over on his. He's a variety gamer. He oftentimes will do games with Scary Jerry, who's in the chat tonight, and they'll play things on their streams together. and you can find Michael doing all kinds of different games in different times of the week. All right, and does anybody else have anything that they want to announce this evening?
Other than enjoy your holiday on Thursday from the other side of the world.
Yes, it's one of the interesting aspects of the special relationship that the U.S. and the UK have. If there was no UK, we would have no Thanksgiving in a weird way.
That is a good way of looking at it. Any excuse to eat a copious amount of food and get drunk is an A+ from me.
Absolutely, an excuse to sit down and watch a whole bunch of sports is yeah. So, all right, then let me go ahead and obviously I should wish all of our viewers and all the players a very happy Thanksgiving next week. I am going to look to see Dungeons and oh no, there we go. I don't know why it comes up. Why it doesn't come up with that in the first place. All right. Let's see. All right, we're gonna go and raid Emin Chief. They're doing Tales of Yggdrasil. So that should be fun. We'll go and raid their channel. All right, everyone. Take care. And oh wait, why is it not? Why is it not going? Oh, it's because I put a. I think I had an extraneous. Oh, phew.
Please hold for technical difficulties.
Okay, that's weird. I'm not getting. It says I have a raid in progress, but I am not seeing the thing. Maybe there's something with their particular channel that. All right, so we're gonna try this Gargamond. We'll try them. It kind of sucks when you try to raid somebody and for some reason it doesn't work.
Yeah, I still see our stream on the screen. Obviously, we're incredibly amazing, so that's fine with me.
Okay, well, sorry, but for some reason this is not working, so I'm just going to have to end the stream. Good night, everybody.